Let the Peas Fly is an obscure PvZ cartoon rumored to be considered lost media by many fans online. For the longest time, only a couple of episodes have resurfaced on YouTube through the likes of Moronga, Mr. Onga, Magnet Shroom. But the episodes he did manage to uncover were locked behind a like goal, which he failed to reach multiple times. But through my own efforts, I managed to uncover this mysterious PvZ cartoon. And trust me, this series is really weird. So sit back and then stand up again, because we're uncovering the mystery and lore of the most obscure PvZ series, Let the Peas Fly. The first episode begins with a small house, featuring silhouettes of two pea shooters, which then proceed to do things. They then decide to throw their child out of the window as we spectate their parents talking about... I don't know Chinese. The baby pea shooter finally wakes up and is completely destroyed by this zombie. His ass is gone. We then cut to an active battlefield in suburbia, until the baby pea shooter's corpse hits the ground. Oh, never mind, he's alive. Oh. He isn't. He goes for a jog and runs into... Squash! Pea Shooter says something like, "My parents are gone. Please help Mr. Squash Man." So they decide to camp behind this building and interrogate this zombie by sitting on him. Mr. Brando doesn't really say too much, but suddenly they're invaded by a swarm of zombies. They begin to run away until the baby pea shooter is shot and killed, spraying ketchup everywhere. The final shot shows Squash looking up at somebody in fear. Then the episode ends. Yeah, so in episode 2, it turns out that person was Michael Jackson. We're literally 10 minutes into this series, and I'm not sure if you guys are keeping up. He performs Billie Jean in front of the Squash and the pea shooter, who is now alive all of a sudden. And Michael Jackson basically says, "Hey, I can help you find your parents, but you gotta come to my show first, you know what I'm saying? Gotta plug the music first, you feel me?" To which the Squash says... He starts crying really hard for some reason, to which Michael Jackson says, "Thank you." Thank you. And baby pea shooter says... Baby pea shooter, you can't say that! Don't worry, guys, it means that. The Squash and pea shooter start arguing, probably over baby pea shooter's racial remarks, and then Michael Jackson begins to sing Dangerous. Dangerous? Okay, they moonwalk away and attempt to attack a zombie, all until he performs clone jitsu and traps Michael Jackson in a stone structure. Never mind, he's fine. They gain some distance between the zombies, and Squash pulls out a whole-ass grenade, launching it into a tree, causing... Squash swallows Red from Angry Birds, as anyone would do, and then they start arguing, probably because he threw a grenade at his house. Squash decides he's had enough of Red's BS, so he puts him in a slingshot and shoots him towards the Michael Jackson concert, to which Red pulls out an assault rifle and begins shooting everyone. Oh, and throws 2 grenades and fires a rocket launcher. Squash then fires himself with the slingshot and once again sits on a zombie. I feel like this is becoming a fetish thing, Squash. And now the stage is ready for Michael Jackson to perform, I guess. Yeah, that's still happening. There's also this banner on the concert stage that just says "RIP Michael Jackson," even though he's right there. He then proceeds to perform the entirety of Bad by Michael Jackson, which I will not be playing. And when he finishes, an unexpected twist reveals that Michael Jackson is actually a zombie? Michael Jackson then summons a swarm of zombies and basically tells them to go and fight Squash, and Red from Angry Birds, and Baby Pea Shooter, in which the episode ends. Episode 3 opens up on a shot of browncoats doing TikTok dances, but then all of a sudden, that is not Gargantua, bro. Hulk tells this browncoat, "You got games on your phone?" And he snatches bro's iPhone posing for the gram. The zombie is all like, "Hey, my phone, bro. I had Flappy Bird on that shit." And to make him feel even worse, his friend pulls up to show off his iPhone 18. But then all of a sudden, we cut to Squash and El Bebe locked up alongside some guy. This random dude whips out his... What is that? A shopping list? And the camera begins to move around him like he's in an edit. Bro is not tough. Squash gets annoyed with bold-faced clip farming, but that's when this dude transforms into a real guy. Who the fuck? I don't know who the hell this is, or even if I could show this, but we randomly cut to Zomboss, who is looking very veiny today, and it's revealed that Michael Jackson is actually working with him. Dun dun dun! Michael Jackson started playing Garden Warfare on Zomboss's PC, and he's all like, "No, dickhead, you're ruining my KD." And then we get the most Bollywood edit ever. But in a turn of events, this gas grenade goes off in the prison and turns this dude into a zombie. Can you guess what happens next? They started dancing to Thriller, guys. Come on, it was obvious. And after their performance, they kidnap Baldface's girlfriend. He has a girlfriend now, which causes Zomboss to crash out for some reason. Baldface obviously now is really mad, so he decides to casually break out of prison, you know. Not before, but now, I guess. That makes sense. Michael Jackson and Angry Birds in a PvZ cartoon makes sense. So with everyone broken free from jail, Boldman is all like, well, what's the plan? Plants from Plants vs. Zombies? And Squash, without saying anything, whips out the slingshot. Boldman launches off and dies. I'm kidding. He actually heads into a random telephone box and now is a super soldier. Yeah, we cut to a group of zombies praying to female Jesus, but their dance is interrupted when Call of Duty Man strolls in, and in an attempt to stunlock him, Senor Jackson once again does the Thriller dance. And, oh no, it appears to be working. I'm kidding. He started to shoot everything with a face. However, in the middle of firing his assault rifle, a zombie catches Vin Diesel off guard and eats him in the arm. Oh, shucks. Now he's kidnapped his own girlfriend as a zombie. How is any of this related to PvZ? Episode 4 opens up on Squash and Pea Shooter. Back at home? Can't they just go on with their lives now? Where are your parents? Squash says some really mean stuff to baby Pea Shooter, like, where your mom at? Which causes Brody to run away crying. Pea Shooter is now sulking and whatever. Bro's got terrible aim. But then Squash starts running in slow motion and... does he got a knife? What, is he trying to kill Squash? Get that weak ass shit out of here. I'm about to stand on business. Who you think you are? Small body, green stick, built like a sheen brick. These two argue for so long that the screen turns black, all until a mountain appears. How peaceful. Pea Shooter and Squash then decide to run across the whole world and end up at the mountain. Don't ask me what's going on, I'm only saying what I see. Stop right there, says the angry Snow Repeaters. You don't exist. The Snow Repeaters are annoyed that the Green Gang are stepping on their turf, as if we're in the world of Splatoon. But as this Snowpea tries to FNAF jump scare these two, they get clattered in the face with a snowball. Oh, here we go. Gargantua is here. Y'all better get out of here.
No, we fight with honor. If we work together...
Shut your ass! Gargantua slowly approaches the duo menacingly, but that's when all of a sudden Squash remembers he's a Squash. So after jumping on his head, he didn't do anything and he gets sent flying across the map. Gargantua approaches for his final strike. He raises his tree stump, slams it down, and the sound of metal intercepts his striking blow to what appears to be a shield. Is that Captain Russia? What the f— Gargantua gets comboed the piss out of, and it turns out that Captain Russia is actually the bald dude who got turned into a zombie literally 5 minutes ago. I don't know how they can explain this because all they show is that he grew out his hair. Fascinating. But as the camera zooms out, we're suddenly revealed to the one and only Crazy Dave? Episode 5 begins with Dave sounding like a scared dog. Squash gets bored of all of his yapping and decides to sit on him. Yeah, this is definitely a fetish thing. Obviously, Dave gets mad and rightfully went Super Saiyan. I'm not even surprised anymore. Squash is obviously like, yo, what is even going on right now? And then Dave pulled out a grenade the size of a car. Is this fun to watch anymore? Are you guys still entertained by this? Is anyone here? Dave decided to not move. And then he died. To his own grenade. But in his final moments, he hands Captain Russia a copy of the Necronomicon and passes away. Oh wait, never mind. Squash Blast! What is even happening? The book that they were given earlier all of a sudden started speaking Chinese, which went on for the rest of the episode until Captain Russia got tired and beat the pages out of his ass, causing the book to split into 3 balls, leveling up everyone to level 100. Why did the Mario Game Over sound effect play? Episode 6 kicks off with a view of Zomburbia, I think. But that doesn't matter because the squad pulls up. Look how epic they are. Squash has bandana and Pea Shooter is yellow now. Suddenly, the cartoon turns into an RPG, and for half a second, I thought I was actually controlling them. The team takes down everything in their path, but that's cut short until they're stopped by COVID zombies. What the actual fuck? Using their COVID powers, Pea Shooter is singled out, and loud-ass sound effect, bro. Jesus! COVID team leader gets eliminated, and solid snake. For some reason, all of the zombies are guarding this tower. I don't even know why Pea Shooter wants to go in there. Like, what is even the objective anymore? But after a back-and-forth sniping competition between Snake and Pea Shooter, Captain Russia hops on a scooter and the gang drives off, passing these NPC zombies who are all frozen in place. Awesome. The zombies hunt them down in a monster truck, but are stopped in their tracks when this xylophone zombie? I don't know if I can do this anymore. Russia Man is captured by the zombies for some reason and is tortured by forcing him to watch this Dancing man? I do not know who this is, but he's not that bad. Come on, that's a little bit harsh. We cut back to these two laid out on the floor. Why weren't they kidnapped too? I don't freaking know, dude. But they run off, I guess. I don't know why they're running if the zombies didn't want them. I don't care anymore. Bok Choy is here. He scares off the zombie horde, in which Squash thanks him greatly for saving them. But then, for literally no reason, they both get interrupted by this singing carrot. Piss off. After Bok Choy chose to stand on this house, for some reason, that was the last uncovered episode I could find, with the last part being released late last year. They've been making this cartoon since I was a fetus. I really don't know what to make of this cartoon. I feel like there's more unexpected cameos in this than in an episode of Family Guy. Quick shout out to Pebble for finding the entire source of this series, as I seriously struggled to find these episodes on my own. And if you're new here, make sure to join my Discord, Brando's Backyard, to be notified for all my other Brando content. Nonetheless, there was the entirety of Let the Peas Fly. Please like the video. Oh no!